Morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. So we're another week here at the yard. I'm down at the yard again today, in the building. It's all looking very lovely. And I'm joined by Luke again this morning. Morning, Luke.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. So, Tuesday's Tea and Toast, what are they all about? So Tuesdays are all about community. So we're going to cover a range of different topics on Tuesdays throughout the next few weeks and months. Oh, hi Laurel, morning. Laurel just said a good morning to us. Hope you're okay.
Morning, Laurel.
Today. So yeah, Tuesdays, community. So we're going to discuss things that are going on within our local town, Northampton. We'll be discussing, greater issues going on within the UK or even things going on in the world. I think every week we will find, especially these days at the moment, there's lots and lots of different subjects we can talk about. So this morning, I thought we'd kick off with something that's probably on a lot of people's minds and we've heard loads and loads about in the news recently, Donald Trump. So, Donald Trump,
that man again.
COVID. What do we all think about this? I've heard so many different opinions. Some people saying they think it's fake, he's putting it on, it's all for publicity. Other people who, really do believe the man's been poorly. So let's have a little discussion about what you think of that. So, Luke, what do you think about Donald Trump? Is it for real or not?
It's a weird one, isn't it?
It is.
Well, I mean, I don't know a great deal about it, but I do know that they said he's had COVID. He's been in hospital for 2 days, is it?
Yeah, 2 days.
And is he out now?
Well, apparently he came out last night and he tweeted last night that he's out of hospital. I think he's on his way back to the White House last night. And apparently he's telling people, don't be afraid of COVID, and that he's actually feeling better than he did 20 years ago after.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that he was coming out, but I didn't realise he was out already. But yeah, he said he feels better than he did 20 years ago and all that. But he's also, from what I don't know, I've got no proof, but from what I've heard, he's released a list of like the treatment he had in hospital, to kind of like play it down and say, look, it's curable with basic things, kind of thing as well. But I don't know. I mean, what do you make of that?
I don't know. Oh, I know. Did you see that whilst he got taken to hospital by helicopter, and obviously I heard that he had a relatively new drug trialed on him, and he needed oxygen a few times. But after being in hospital just a while, lots of the American public, who obviously are Trump supporters, were outside the hospital, holding a little bit of a vigil or something for him. So he decided to come out of hospital, get into a car and drive around and do a drive-by waving to people. Did you see any of that?
No, I didn't.
So the man's got into a car whilst he's got COVID, driving around. He did have a mask on, but there were other people in that car with him. Surely that can't be good. You're supposed to be isolating, aren't you, when you have COVID? You don't go out and wave to your public, do you? Bizarre.
It's not a great example. It's not a great example to set, is it?
No. I mean, I think it's ironic timing with all the elections going on at the moment, and with his sort of debate that he had with Joe Biden just a few days ago. It does seem it's ironic timing that he should come down with it now. But I guess the thing is, it's a bit like Boris. We'll never really know, will we?
No.
We'll never really know.
No, you're right. But, you'll never really know.
Yeah, the Trump supporters are obviously going to say, absolutely, he's most definitely been poorly, but look how he's pulled through. And, there's going to be the ones of us who are a little bit skeptical. I can't say the word, skeptical on it. So,
you got to remember he's got a lot of people that are all for him and stuff, and they're all going to take on board what he's saying. So if he's saying, don't worry about it and all that, and I feel better than I did 20 years ago, and they're just going to follow suit.
Of course they are. But funnily enough, though, he didn't have any bleach injected, as he previously advised the American public to do.
no Dettol on a drip.
Yeah, he decided to give that one a miss, funnily enough, this time. So,
there was people drinking bleach.
Oh, I know. Look at the drama he caused over that. It's he's a funny old one, isn't he? You know, there's lots of
Definitely.
pro-Trump and anti-Trump. He's that's what Laurel's just said. It's odd and it is sceptical. I completely agree. It all just seems a little bit too conveniently timed for me.
It's a weird one. It's one of them ones where I got to remind myself we're live.
Yeah,
because there's a lot to say about it, really. Isn't there?
Yeah, we don't want any rude words today. Thank you. Anyway, still on the topic of COVID, because obviously it's so relevant at the moment. It's hard not to talk about things to do with COVID. So, Luke, did you hear about this big sort of thing that 16,000 COVID results were not published in our figures last week?
Well, no, well, that's the problem. I didn't hear about it until today when you told me.
So basically, this is just bizarre. So last week our figures were going up. Obviously, we had a questions and answers with Boris, where he sort of, reinstated, with the medical advisors, the figures are going the wrong way, and we've got to, really clamp down. And actually, our figures were worse than what we thought at that point. So there's not really been any explanation. But 16,000 positive results last week weren't published, which then meant our figures were worse than what we originally thought. And also, there's 16,000 people that haven't been contacted through track and trace.
That's crazy. 16,000. And then you've got the knock-on effect of those 16,000 going out and infecting another 16,000, and then the chain just goes on and on. That's ridiculous.
Well, this is it. This is it.
How can they lose, like... I don't get it. How can they lose 16,000 positive cases? I
don't know. And I don't think, the latest from what I've heard, I don't think we've actually had a great explanation from Matt Hancock as to how these lost. I don't know.
We won't get an explanation.
Let us know. But at the minute, from what I've heard, they've sort of just said it was a glitch or an error, but they've not really gone into any more sort of detail. And they're now saying that, the track and trace people are working back through those 16,000 tests to try and, get them on the track and trace. But that's a lot of people who have then been going on with their everyday life without realising that actually they need to be self-isolating.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's seen the animated thing that they show you, don't they? Where you got one person who's infected, infected two, and then so on and on. 16,000 of those.
I know.
Ridiculous.
It's mental. It's scary. And then I was watching a program last night, and there was a guy who works on the track and trace system. It was this morning, and he wanted to remain anonymous. And he was saying that on 6 months of working, he works for the track and trace thing, and he's only ever been able to contact 3 people. And the cost of what he's done is £7,000. Was its cost?
Wow.
3 people in 6 months. That's a worry.
Did he say what the issue was? No,
I missed that bit. I had to take the kids to school. But no,
they need to look at it clearly, because they're pushing it, and if they're not, it sounds like a good idea, but if it's not working, they need to look at it, don't they?
Well, it's a worry. Like Laurel's just said, the NHS track and trace is not made by NHS; it's a sub company. Yeah, I've heard that as well. But this. One of the reasons when Boris was speaking to us sort of during, maybe June or July when we were coming out of this lockdown, it was, telling us it's safe for our children to go back to school. It's safe for us all to go back to work as long as we have this effective track and trace system in place. But we still haven't. This track and trace system isn't working, and that's the worry.
Well, they need to sort it out. They need to sort it out, don't they?
It's even like the app you have on your phone. So many people I've spoke to, and also quite a few older people, their iPhones or their phones aren't new enough to be able to download the app.
No.
So,
I mean,
they should have made something that is available to all. We can all.
Yeah, and there's no. The thing is, though, if you haven't got the phone or a laptop or anything, which a lot of people haven't.
No.
I mean, I know that some places they're doing it where you kind of sign in, and you have to leave. You have to sign in and leave your number and all that kind of stuff. But then, surely, if they can't get the phone one and the app one correct, then surely doing it manually is not going to be any more use. You know what I mean? I don't.
I definitely completely agree. It's just it all just feels like it's all a bit of a shambles, to be honest.
Yeah,
and it's a worry about what the next sort of weeks and months ahead are, you know, what they're going to look like with all of this
Exactly.
stuff. The cases
coming into winter as well.
Yeah, the cases are going up. The hospitalizations are going up. The people requiring ventilators are going up. Now, I know we're nowhere near how we were sort of in the peak, you know, late March, April. But it's still a worry, you know. It's still things, like I said, they're heading in the wrong direction again. So we're all going to be living with a lot more restrictions on our lives. And coming up to Christmas, it's a worry. You know, I think we all have to start to get our heads around that this Christmas isn't going to be one like we've known it before.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. Is the way it's going at the moment. I know it's not as bad as it was the first time around, but it could quite easily be, couldn't it? And then you're looking at schools closing again and people off from work.
Yeah.
And they've got a duty now to they've put these things out there, the app and you know, all that kind of stuff, and they need to make sure it's working. They can't.
Yeah.
You know, without that, then
I know
it's going to go nowhere. So they've got to sort it out. Yeah.
I know.
Pretty much.
Well, let's just hope they get on top of this track and trace and things become, you know, a bit more sort of sturdy in completing the track and trace with people, because that's what we need. We need track and trace to work to make sure we're all staying safe while we're out. Okay, let's have a look at COVID now. Should we move on to something else? Because it's, as much as it needs talking about, sometimes I think, you know, everyone gets fed up because it's just been the topic of conversation for months, hasn't it? Let's move on to something a bit more local. So Luke doesn't live in Northampton, so he probably won't be familiar with this, but there's a chain of restaurants in Northampton called Buddies, which have been with us for absolute years, and they're all closing down. I don't think they've ever really recovered from COVID, and I think from what I read, that seems to be the problem. So have you ever heard of Buddies, Luke?
No, I've not.
Oh, so it's like an American diner, burger place. They used to do the best American breakfasts, and it was amazing.
All right.
I loved it. It was just one of those nice sort of family restaurants you could go to and get like a decent meal.
Is it just Northampton based, is it?
I think they might have a few further out in Northampton, but it started off in Northampton. There used to be one in the town centre, and the chain sort of grew from that. So I think there used to be one sort of near Toastaway, Milton Keynes, you know, like that. It was still only a handful of the chain. Yeah. So yeah, they're closing, and it's just really sad because it was sort of like a Northampton favourite, you know.
It's a shame. It's a shame when you've got these. You say family run? Did you say it was like a family run kind of? I don't think it was family
run. Maybe the first Buddies was, but no, it certainly wasn't after. But it was a real family-orientated sort of restaurant. You know, you could take the kids there. They loved it. They used to have all like American memorabilia all up on the walls. They used to have a train running around the top, which the kids used to love. It was just a lovely.
It is. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad to see a lot of the places closing down, and it's not. You've got a lot of small independent places, and you have got some of the bigger places as well. But yeah, I mean, like you say, it's part of Northampton. You've been there a few times, and sounds like people enjoyed going there. So yeah, it's sad to see it go.
It is sad, and I guess although we're not directly talking about COVID, this is not on effect from COVID. These smaller independent places can't recover. And did you hear about cinemas closing?
Well, no.
Okay, so it is Cineworld, I think. So they made a decision yesterday that all the cinemas are going to close now for the time being, because yesterday it was decided that the James Bond movie that was due to be released next month, they've postponed it till next year. So I think the cinemas were sort of banking on that to sort of get customers in, because the cinemas are all very well and good, but if no new films are coming out, and obviously this is not from COVID, they're not making any money. So Cineworld have closed immediately for the time being. They're hoping to be open next year once the film industry sort of, Laurel's just put Cineworlds are closing. Yeah, exactly. I think Odeon Cinemas only open on a weekend now. I don't know about View. Are View Cinemas still going at the minute? But again, what a shame. What a, direct impact of COVID that you get to the point where the cinemas are closing. Yeah,
it is a shame. It is a shame. I've been saying, a lot of other people have been saying as well, that if you are going to go shopping and you got to do these things, try and think about where you're going as well. You know, because if the bigger chains are struggling, and let's be honest, they can go a lot longer without the custom than the small independent family run places can go. You know, like the community shop, like the butchers and all that. Maybe you know, try and use them as much as you can, and think about them as well.
Well, I saw a thing on Facebook yesterday saying like this Christmas is going to be really different, but why don't we try and use small local businesses to get presents for families and friends?
It's really important.
It is, because otherwise some of these places aren't going to make it through. It's even, you know, instead of going to McDonald's for your lunch, go to your local cafe. Here on Gold Street, where the yard is based, we've got some lovely little cafes and independent run restaurants and shops. So I'm really going to try hard this year to think about where I'm shopping, what I'm buying for Christmas. We've just lost Luke, so you're just back to me. So yeah, thinking about trying to shop local, trying to shop independent, even if you're a person who uses Facebook or those things quite a lot, is thinking about the little independent. Let's see if we can get Luke back just here. Let me just bear with me.
Hello?
Are you back with us, Luke?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, I can't hear very well. You're very, very quiet.
Can you hear me now?
Perfect.
Cool.
Yeah,
my screensaver went on. Keep forgetting about it.
I was just saying, just sort of reiterating about Christmas and that this year, just being really, really choosy where we decide to spend our money, because it's going to make such an impact, especially more than ever.
Definitely. And even if you find it's probably a bit more expensive at independent shops, then that's fine. But maybe just get a few things from there that you can't get other places, and you got to do your whole shopping there. But even if you're just getting a few little bits, loaf of bread, anything.
Yeah, no, definitely. All those little purchases are going to make a big difference.
Yeah.
So yeah,
well, that's what's going to see shops out the other side of it and keep them running.
Yeah, no, completely. I completely agree with you. So just to finish off today, because we were talking about Buddy's closing and things in Northampton that used to be a favourite restaurant of mine to go to. So what's your favourite spot in Northampton? Now, Luke, I don't know if you've got one or not from here, but have you got any sort of favourite spot or place in Northampton at all?
The Yard. That's my favourite place.
Oh, the Yard. Okay, yeah, absolutely.
I like the parks. I like the parks in Northampton.
We're really
because
the parks.
You've got good parks, very good parks there, yeah. And there's a lot of them.
Yeah,
I like the parks. I think you've got some nice outdoor spaces there.
We're really lucky. I mean, one of my favourite places is definitely Abington Park. I don't know if you've been to that one, Luke. That's the one where it's sort of over two sides. So we've got the swings and the play area for the children on one side, and then on the other side we've got a lovely cafe. We've got like a bird sort of sanctuary place where you can walk through and the children can see the birds. We've got the
I've not seen the bird sanctuary.
Yeah, we've got tennis courts, and I grew up being taken there by my mum and dad and went with my sisters all the time. So it's sort of a firm family favourite in our house. And then I've loved taking my children there over the years. And even it's a place, especially with, again, all COVID going on, we've even had met friends there socially distanced with picnic blankets, because it's just a lovely green space where you can sort of get to see people but still keep your distance. There's a lake there where my mum always took us to feed the ducks. And my kids love going to feed the ducks there as well. But Abington Park's a lovely place. But I've been there, but it sounds like I've 1 lot more to see there. I mean, I didn't realise all that was there. Oh no, there's loads. There's more there than what you realise. You'll have to go over there one day and go over the other side, because there's lots of bobs there. But yeah, we are, like you said, we're really lucky in Northampton with all the green space and the parks, and there's loads. Is there loads of parks in Leicester? Yeah, there's
I wouldn't say there is a lot. I mean, we have got a lot, but you have to travel quite a way to get some. They're not really spaced out well like yours are.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's always nice to have somewhere you can go, even when the weather's not great, just to get a bit of fresh air. Abington Park that we were speaking about, a lot of people walk their dogs there because it's a lovely little walk as well. So anyway,
no, definitely parks.
I'll tell you what I'd be really interested in. If people who you're watching, pop in the comments for us and let us know what your favourite spot in Northampton is. And I'll have a look at those later today, because it's always nice to find out where some of you guys' favourites are, and sometimes it's places where we may not know about. It's funny, Northampton's a funny old place, because although I've lived here all my life, there's always places and, you know, different places that I've not heard of or not got to, or, you know, not seen yet. So if you've got a favourite and you want to let us know about it, pop it in the comment box for me. And I think that's it today, Luke. We've talked about sort of different subjects. So tomorrow, guys, I'll be doing my tea and toast at 10 o'clock again, and I will be talking about different things tomorrow. I'm going to surprise you in the morning, and so I'll be having another conversation with you all. So that's it from Luke and I today. Thanks for joining me this morning, Luke.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me, and thanks for listening. Anyone that's been listening?
Yeah, thank you, Laurel. Thanks for chatting with us this morning. It's always good to hear from you. Well, have a great day, everyone. Wrap up warm. It's pretty cold out there today, but at least the rain has stopped and the sun is shining. So have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.
See you later.